There might be more news coming out these days regarding whether or not China is now also targeting their automotive industry with new regulations, with crackdowns and stuff like that. We had a couple of news around EV consolidation in the last couple of days, and today another document coming out regarding data safety around EV players. And so I want to use this video in order to give you a heads up on, well, some of the new headlines that might be coming up and how to interpret them. I already tried to make the best of explaining all of the fear, uncertainty and doubt around Chinese stocks in particular, in general, and also around those new regulations in different areas. And now let's look at some of these automotive industry specific rules and how this may affect NIO. So here's a new notice published today by the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology and Equipment Industry Development Center in China. And let me quickly translate it into English. So basically what we've got here is that the ministry is asking for a self-inspection on the automotive data security and network security, basically running a self-examination. And so this notice has been sent out to all of the automotive manufacturers in China, and basically they need to kind of make a statement on their own and state whether or not they have the proper licenses to actually produce vehicles that are allowed to drive on the streets, and in addition to that conduct more self-checks whether or not the data security, network security, online software updates and driver assistance functions is established. Those companies who fail such kind of a self-examination and are not submitting any reports will be punished and may face even more severe challenges in the future. And this is kind of in line with what we have seen just a couple of days ago around an EV consolidation in China, that the government is kind of in the views that they have too many companies around in this sector. And actually, to give you a little bit of a context regarding this, we had a similar situation or similar enforcement actually in 2019 when the government was actually stepping back some of the subsidies for electric cars which they have provided before, and was actually misused by many of these players. We had lots of startups in this area, of course one of them being NIO and others like Xiaopeng and Li Auto and so on, but there have been many players who have been actually using the subsidies in order to come up with business plans that have been quite unsustainable. And even some of these players are, well, not having the necessary licenses and even maybe have not all of the safety and data processes in place which the regulators are now demanding. So, well, of course, some of the market commentators may spin this into news that China is now targeting the automotive industry as well and launching crackdowns. But in case you are a watcher of this channel or even a patron, you may remember this slide in which I previously talked around that yes, also cybersecurity regulations will be coming to the automotive industry in both the area of hardware and software. And already back then, my views was that some companies like NIO as well as Xiaopeng and Li Auto will possibly have the least problems with adhering to some of these rules and becoming compliant, because these are real established companies and they possibly have already all of those hardware and software requirements in place, as well as on the data side. I'm leaning so far out of the window and saying that this might be the case, and if not, I'm quite sure that they have the teams and the knowledge in order to become compliant and adhere to any of these new rules. I frankly don't see them as a way of limiting innovation or the capabilities of these new players and what they bring to the industry. In fact, I rather see them as what they are, a cleanup of this industry to get rid of some of these smaller players that have low chances to survive in this industry anyways, but have been surviving because they haven't obliged to some of these rules and also use some of these subsidies. So this is what currently is going on here in China, and thereby in the end this turns out to be rather something very manageable for NIO. And don't get kind of distracted if you read some scary headlines out there. That's kind of my message here today. And also the side note, as I'm also a Tesla investor, we need to watch carefully here whether or not some of these rules and ongoing scrutinies here will be used in order to kind of tighten the rules here a little bit on some of the non-domestic players. So that could be a real danger here for Tesla in China. I think it's unlikely that this will happen. I think Tesla is in the same boat as NIO and Li Auto and so on, that they will be able to just be compliant with those rules, and they will be able to showcase that they have all the security measures in place. And of course, they are also not part of the industry consolidation there. However, this is something that China has used as a trick and a toolbox in the past in order to protect their homegrown startups against foreign companies. So that's something to monitor if you are invested in Tesla. That's it. Just want to put out my opinion there before we see some of these headlines possibly, and once again cool down some of the nerves of investors. But of course, you need to come up with your own thinking and see for yourself whether or not you think this will be a big risk in the companies that you invested in. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please smash a like and then see you in the next one.